These little circles that sometimes show up on abs can be a lot of fun, and I've had a couple people ask me how I do it. I'll tell you that basically I saw it from Flame and I loved it, and I just tinkered around and I found a way to make it work for me. I'm not saying it's the best way or the right way by any means, but this is how I go about it. I'm working in PSP 15 here. I don't think if you were in a lower version that it would change really. The features that I'm using are pretty standard and have been around for several of the editions. So to start with, I'm just going to go ahead and delete that circle so we can start with where I would be starting if I wanted to make it. I'm going to get rid of the names too so they're out of the way. Let's see, there we go. So what I do is ignore all these extra layers I have over here. They're just from naming and tagging. I'll just go ahead and merge them all flat. So I try to decide what it is that I want to copy and make the circle out of, and you go to the selection tool over here and you choose circle. So when you do a circle, you kind of have to guess where you think the middle of your circle is going to be. You click on it and drag out to make a circle. I usually have to do this a few times before I'm happy with exactly what I captured. So like in this case, I'm going to play with a little bit more. Maybe go up here, capture her hand. Okay, so something like that. Once it's highlighted, you can click on it and drag it off the image. I don't know that that's necessary, but I always feel like once I drag it off, then I get this new layer over here that says floating selection. And once I have that layer, then I can say edit, copy, and edit, paste as a new image. And there we go. Once I have it over here, then I just put an inner bevel on it, generally speaking, so I can go to effects, inner bevel. If I don't want to change the look of it too much, I'm not going to want to use a color that's really going to make a change. So I'll use white, or sometimes this very next one up, or something in between. If it's too bright, then I start dropping down these intensity and elevation numbers, and that helps to kind of minimize the brightness. 40 is usually where I start, and then I go up or down from there. See how it's very dark on this ledge? That's because of the angle over here. If I want to adjust that, I can play around with this angle some and basically just kind of tinker with it until I'm happy with it. Once I'm done with that, then I can edit, copy, and go back to this image that I started with. And before I paste it, I undo the last couple of steps just to get rid of the selection, get rid of that layer, and then edit, paste as a new layer. And now I've got my little circle. Can manipulate it, move it around, resize it, do anything that you would do otherwise. I found that I kind of like the little cutout circle to be smaller than the original, so I play around with it. And when I'm making an ab, I tinker and move it like 50,000 times, but eventually you'll get it somewhere that you're happy with. And that's how I put my little circles on my abs. I hope that helps you. If you have any questions, let me know.